We're roll call. We have Carl, Catherine, Virginia, Jeff, and Renee. All board members are present. And then we're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. My little friend's gonna come help me, right? Ooh, yeah. Come help me, bud. My little Cub Scout buddy. Okay, ready? See. You have to press it out. Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. High five.
Good job.
Good job, then. See you next time.
That's what I little podcast too. So we are going to move on to item number 3, the organizational meeting of the Board of Trustees. Our first item is item A. We're going to elect our board president. Do we have any nominations for board president?
I will volunteer myself.
Jeff, do we have a second on Jeff's motion? Yeah.
I renominate Renee.
Yeah.
I'm going to gratefully tell you, I'm honored that you would nominate me, but I'm gonna decline at this time.
Okay, I nominate myself.
So we have a Carl. So do we have a second on Carl's nomination? I'm also gonna throw in Virginia for our president. I'll second that one. So we're looking for a second on Jeff and a second on Carl.
Second, well.
Do you also want to run?
Or do you want to?
Do you want to be for president? Yeah.
I do not, I can't say I'll do it.
All right, I'll withdraw my nomination and triple Virginia, so that should make things easier.
I will second Jeff's nomination just so we can have a fair
Yeah,
vote across the
okay.
board. I'm happy to do Carl's if he wants, but it sounds like he's for Virginia, so. We will start with Jeff. All those, do we do roll call vote?
Roll.
We'll do roll call vote. Carl? We're voting on Jeff's nomination.
No, not this time, nay.
Catherine?
I'm sorry, not this time either.
Virginia? Nay. Jeff?
Aye.
Renee,
Be
nay.
myself and I is
Got
three.
really loud.
Be myself and I is 3.
So that Jeff's nomination does not pass with a 1-4 vote. And we're gonna take a vote on Virginia, starting with you, Carl.
Aye.
Catherine?
Aye.
Virginia? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Renee? Aye, sorry. Oh, myself. Virginia will be our new board president for the 2025-2026 year. Or the 2026 year, starting in. Thank you. You're welcome. Now we're going to move on to our new position that we as a board approved at our last meeting. We're going to elect the board vice president role. Do we have any nominations for board president, vice president? I nominate Renee for vice president.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can second. Is there any other nominations for vice president?
You want to be vice president?
I can handle that.
You can be vice president?
I'm happy to do that. I'll accept the nomination.
Nothing going, so.
Does anybody else, is there any other nominations for vice president? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote on the nomination of Renee for vice president. Carl?
Aye.
Catherine?
Aye.
Virginia? Aye. Sorry, Jeff.
Aye.
Renee, aye. The nomination passes 5-0. And we're gonna elect our board clerk. Do we have any nominations for board clerk?
Put me on if you like.
Are you sure?
A nomination for Jeff Payne. Do we have a second?
You want me to second it too? I'll first and second it. Oh, is anyone else?
Virginia, second. We have a nomination, and a second. Carl, would you like to put your name in as well?
Yeah, do you want?
No, it sounds like we're gonna have it filled, and that's fine.
Catherine,
Yeah.
would you like to put your name in for that one?
No. No, Jeff really wants to do it. I mean, you know, he doesn't do position, so.
Well, you have to sign something.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, but give it to Jeff.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Roll call vote with the
And
nomination of Jeff Payne for our clerk role.
if you recall, Jeff, it means you have to take notes when we're having our meetings on super evaluation.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that. Okay, here we go. Aye.
I got.
Aye.
Yep, I.
You don't have a poker face today, man.
I, sorry, Jeff Payne will be our new clerk for the 2026 year.
Who seconded?
Catherine made the nomination, right?
For vice
Clerk.
president?
Oh, for vice president, Catherine.
Thank you.
And it was 5, everyone voted in favor. And then for clerk, it was Virginia made the nomination and Catherine seconded it for clerk.
For Jeff?
Yeah.
No, I first.
Oh, she nominated and.
Jeff, yeah,
Who's the-
I nominated Jeff. I mean, doesn't really matter.
You got it. Okay, sorry.
No, we really.
Sorry, we normally aren't this jokey, so. Our next position, our next item, item D, is to authorize the board president, vice president, clerk, and superintendent to serve as authorized agents of the board. Do you have any questions on that item?
No.
Do we have a motion to approve that item?
Motion approved.
We have a motion by Carl, a seconded by Catherine. Roll call again. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Our next item is the elect the board representative for the county committee election. The county, go ahead to read this. Okay, so we're just looking for one board member that is willing to be our election representative for the county committee. Who would like to put their name in for that? Carl?
We're not, that group's not meeting in person anymore.
No, this is
And
not
just for
This is not the Santa Clara County School Boards Association.
Mm.
This one is,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's the one for the governing board of school districts of every kind or class shall annually at its initial meeting select one of its members as a representative who shall have one vote for each member to be elected to the county committee.
So school district.
So what?
School district organization committee. So is this the one that
What
the
is
maps and
this?
stuff go to? So this would be like, for instance, East Side just went through the whole trustee zone. Now they have to vote on maps. So this is somebody to sit on that committee to help approve those items if it comes to. Very seldom do they have anything. It just happened to be this year they have.
It doesn't happen very much.
Yeah, no, I'll go if it's,
I mean, I did it one year and nothing happened. So
that's what I'm assuming, because I'm unfamiliar with what
Yeah, I
we're
know.
talking about there and been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
okay. Is anybody else? I'm happy to put Carl's name on it.
Yeah, because
Okay. Anybody else? Do we have to take a motion? You can say that.
Did you have to take a look?
You want to do the vote? You wanna do-
Okay, I'll second. So I will make a motion for Carl, Virginia will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5. Carl's like, what did I get myself into?
nothing,
So,
nothing.
we will have this filled out before we leave and we'll have you sign this or the clerk, right? Okay. Now we're going to move on to our last item of our board reorg, and it's to elect board committee members. So the first committee that we're going to look for 2 representatives from our board is our facilities committee. I would like to ask Virginia if she would still continue to be on that committee, if she's done a great job, I think, in the last year of attending and making sure to come back with information. So I would like to put Virginia's name out there for that. And we have one other position, if somebody was interested in that.
Yeah, I'll go again. I appreciate it.
So, is anybody else interested in facilities?
It meets every few weeks, well, once a month now, but we're gonna pay attention.
Okay, so if everybody's okay with it, we'll have Jeff, Carl, sorry, I was looking at Jeff signing. Carl and Virginia sit on the facilities committee. And then the next committee is our board policy committee. This committee will meet a few times a year with our superintendent and other members of the community, I believe the school site community, to review our policies and bring them forward to the board. Sorry, I'm looking for my phone because my phone keeps beeping, so I'm trying to shut it off. Is anybody interested in being on the policy committee?
I think, but we'll get all that.
We've met about 3 times.
Yeah, we haven't-
Working on those, looking at them, there's,
Always worried we missed some, but we don't need to.
well,
So,
CSBA pushes their policy at us, and if we don't pay attention, we'll spin our wheels doing a lot of things that are necessary. So it's an important spot to minimize the amount of the thrash that we do in the office here. We're so small. It is important, and you have to do something, you have to pay attention a few hours, a few times.
yeah.
It's not trivial.
I mean, and the one thing with the committee is the committee is just there to review the policies. All policies will still have to come to the board for final approval, so.
Yep. And including recommendations, like what we did is like, look, we really shouldn't be doing anything to these, even though CSBA says, oh, y'all should do, because
Right,
they're justifying their position of
Right.
having that job.
So I guess I will nominate Carl on this committee.
I was trying not to do that.
You have a lot to say, you know.
Catherine, do you want to do it again?
Catherine says she.
So we'll have Carl and Catherine on that committee again? Does that work for everyone? Okay, so Carl and Catherine on that. Our next one is a new committee that we approved at our last meeting, but is the East Side Alliance Committee. This committee will work with the other East Side school districts and just kind of building the bridge between the districts, sharing resources, finding out how we can support each other, and really trying to build a camaraderie between the East Side school districts, because all of our kids eventually go to the East Side High School.
You did that, right?
No, we haven't. Jeff did it when he was president, but now, we're
Because
trying
we have like
to,
almost no news, and it's important.
yeah, so they're trying to, revitalize it.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Virginia and I have been working with, Lorena Chavez, one of the board members from East Side Union High School District, and
Yeah.
a couple of other members from other districts who are really interested in getting this group going again.
Some people in our districts, in our high schools at the conference. And sort of had the sub rosa conversations, but you've talked with these people, you know them, and you have a kid in the high school level, right?
Yeah.
So it's a natural fit to care and pay attention, right?
And I
So
would,
you're getting nominated, right?
yeah, I want to do it. I would like
Okay.
to. I feel that Virginia and I, we really have been passionate about building that bridge.
So, you know.
So is that you guys?
You guys are okay with that, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, good.
If you know, you guys do not want to do it, I can do it. I think this is also because my kids is also in high school.
Yes.
So that's why. But you guys have kids in high school, so I trust you guys if you want to do it.
So is he gonna be an alternate of the second spot, or are you gonna put him in and
Can we do that? We're gonna have two, but can we have an alternate?
you can bring somebody, if you don't show up, you can send
No, we
somebody.
just
It
can't
doesn't
have three of
matter.
us there, so, we can put Virginia and I as the main, and then if one of us can't make it, we can let you know, Jeff, like, hey, I can't make this meeting, would you like to attend?
Sure.
Okay, just make sure that if you can't, Virginia and I will make sure that if we can't attend, we reach out to you individually, we won't have an email thread, you can include Jeff on it,
You're
but.
not on the hook.
Okay, so for the East Side Alliance, it'll be Virginia and myself with Jeff as the backup.
That's good. Yeah.
And then the next one is our AI committee. So I know we just started this at our last meeting, and you guys have your first meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So I would be happy to,
Isn't it, Joe?
Jeff and Carl were doing it before, so if you guys want to continue, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing.
Okay.
I think that's,
Is everyone else okay with that?
I think it's great.
Okay, so we're going to
What
have,
you wanna do, Kev?
yeah, you're not, when you're not.
I'm kidding. I wanted to make her do that.
Then I'm gonna nominate her for the next position.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay, so Jeff and Carl will be our committee members.
What's that, 3 o'clock, not 5?
At 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, I can't.
There is a Zoom link for anyone that needs to be on Zoom.
And then our next one is a representative to the Santa Clara County School Boards Association. This person will have a vote on the Santa Clara County School Boards Association on behalf of the Orchard School District.
Yeah, that's what I thought the other one was.
I know.
So are they meeting in person yet?
No,
There's 3 years of lazy.
Totally on-
It used to be good.
yeah, only on Zoom, and then there are some mixers every once in a while, like I know this, the president had a mixer at her house to start the year, we have the fall dinner, we have the Hoffman Award. But we are definitely, I think a lot of our goals, a lot of people are aligning with the fact that we would like to meet in person, or at least hybrid, that we could be in person and have a Zoom link, so.
When they start meeting in person, I would like to go again.
Absolutely. Catherine, would you want to be our representative?
Put her in until then.
It's just once a month. You just have to, like, on a Wednesday
No,
night,
because
once a
you,
month.
you guys, you enjoy it. These people are, they all have different issues that all have the same names.
Will you
You
go?
can do. No, I'm not in Zoom meetings.
Jenny
I'm
and I are
talking to
usually
these
on the
meetings.
Zooms already,
On.
but Catherine, I would love for you to do it.
Sure can,
I mean, I'll do it.
yeah.
Is everybody okay with
And
Catherine?
then Coral, I mean, maybe he could be a backup.
Yeah, now we have to ask them if they let us do that. I don't know if they let us. have-
All you gotta do is send somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
let's do
so
that.
we'll have Catherine will be our representative to the Santa Clara County School Boards Association.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
You don't, well, for some reason, you don't quite look like me, but that's okay.
No.
Some people might think you look.
All right.
That might be.
Is there any other committees that we are?
Is there any other?
Yeah.
No, that was all, right?
I think that was all. Okay, so with that said, Virginia, would you like to run this meeting or do you want to start at the next meeting? I'll start at the next meeting.
I was gonna say make her run, but there's a bunch of.
Yeah.
You've never been president of anything before.
Yeah, she was a big.
You sound sarcastic.
I'm teasing, God.
That's the best you're gonna see.
We have a hard stop and a start time tonight. We're gonna keep going.
Sarcastic, it would fool the AI.
We're gonna
That shouldn't fool us.
move on to our next item.
Anyway,
So the agenda.
Make a couple changes.
We would like, okay, there's 2 changes.
Okay, go on.
Pool employee recognition and pool the nose close. We don't need closed session tonight. Is there any other items?
Yeah, I was thinking 21 is closed session. I don't think we should.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We don't have anything for closed session.
I
It's
think-
always a
I
good
think 14, I think 14 was, what was it, facilities? Let's just talk about that. We don't have anything new,
Do we
right?
have anything, Jeff?
14 is really fast.
Okay. He wants to-
Okay, so we can open and close.
Very
He
fast.
wants to.
All right,
say
okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, those 2 that you said,
something.
second.
So we have a motion to approve the agenda. I'll make the motion to approve the agenda with removing employee recognition and closed session. We have a second by Carl. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Oh, yeah, employee recognition. Can we have that come back in January, please?
With November and December.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I'll look for
Is
that.
that gonna be cookies
Thank
and
you.
coffee again too? We got, I'm kidding,
We can figure that out.
we got 2 months. It's like a party.
We're gonna have a party every month because we're
No,
gonna
everyone
recognize our
does.
staff every month.
Now we're getting there.
Now we will move on to item number 5, communication, Ms. McCarthy.
Congratulations, Virginia.
Thank you.
Just on behalf of Orchard Teachers Association, I just wanted to let you know that we're all really happy for you. And hope that we continue to have such good communication with you that we've always had and enjoyed, and same thing with the rest of the board.
Mhm.
Congratulations on your new position, which is new to us forever, and congratulations, Jeff. And thank you all for serving on all the various committees that you serve on. That's it. Have a peaceful and productive meeting.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Not much.
Do we have any public comments? So seeing no public comments, we'll move on to item number 7, consent agenda. Do we have any questions on the consent agenda? Or are we ready to move forward with that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
we can pull up any items if board members have any questions on anything. If there's no questions, I did have a chance to review everything. I'm happy to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second, we have a motion by Renee, second by Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Did I get an eye from Catherine?
Yes.
Yes.
Put her hand
She
up.
wrote. That's a teacher in her, right? So item 8 was pulled. We will move on to item 9, which is a parcel tax discussion, square footage. And I'm gonna turn this over to Jeff.
We actually do it one, public comment,
Okay.
you would-
Yes,
Before you-
public comments. Ms. McCarthy.
I wanted to let the board know that I recently polled the teachers to see if they would be in favor of supporting a partial tax for local school, and 91% of us are in favor of supporting partial tax. So you should know that the teachers understand that funding is essential to keep programming where we need it to be and to improve and increase and constantly be trying to make things better here at work. So no, 91%. And 45 people responded to my survey.
Wow.
That's everybody but 10. So that's a lot of people. So you know. The more you know, you know.
Over to you, Jeff.
Great, thank you. And we'll share, we have Connell Lynn joining us tonight. He did a wonderful job when we had our bond campaign, a very successful bond campaign. And so we did bring him back tonight to talk about parcel tax, in particular, the square footage tax that the board had asked us to put on. Just before Connell comes up, what I did want to share is, you know, the difference between bonds and parcels, Connell can cover, but what I did want to start off with just showing the excess advantage in basic aid districts and state funding, what you see per pupil. And I think we all know this. In fact, I know we all know this, but I just want to be able to call out the difference in what districts receive on a per student basis. And so you think, I think CSBA did a much better job this year talking about the difference in small districts and large districts. Obviously, Renee, you and I had a chance to sit on the small district meeting the opening night, and I think it's helpful with all this being together and raise the awareness. But you have such a discrepancy in this county alone on what districts get per student. I mean, you look at Palo Alto and Santa Clara, not saying anything should be taken away from them. That's not the purpose behind this, but just to say, you know, you see what they have, and then you look at Orchard being at 15,000, that's $11,000 per student difference in funding. And you think about that number times 750 students and what that means for students and what services you can provide to students. Because often that's what we talk about. You talk about retention of staff numbers. That's the dollars that can go to the difference in pay for employees to what services we can offer to students. And it's really looking at it collectively. There's even districts out there that have more funding per student than it. But just to highlight a few of them for the board. And so with that, I think what's most important is to talk about square footage tax. There is obviously a big difference between the flat rate and then the potential timing should the board be interested in considering this to be put on the ballot. So with that, by comment.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
And just for transparency to the board, I did ask for this item. I think that we have a huge advantage in our district with our commercial space, that we would be leveraging more on the commercial space than our residential. So that's why I asked for the square footage parcel tax discussion versus a flat parcel tax discussion, because a flat parcel tax discussion wouldn't be able to even get us close to making a difference that we would need. So I just want full transparency that I did ask for this item because I feel it's important that we discuss this. So that I'm gonna turn it over to you, Connell.
Okay, so my name's Connell Lynn, and as Jeff said, I worked with the district on the bond campaign or bond measure in 2024. And I just want to talk a little bit about the structure of parcel tax and comparing with the bond. So I want to kind of step back a little bit and just talk about the structure of how these things were created. So parcel tax is different from a bond in that bonds basically go for facilities, parcel taxes go for programs. And the difference between an election is that the parcel tax require 2/3 passage first, and the bond only require 55%. So that's the major structural difference, and then there's some differences in the resolution itself. There's an extra 2-day period where if the district chose to do a parcel tax, the county superintendent needs to sign off on it as well, so it needs to build in, so it's actually a 90-day schedule is with the bond versus an 88-day schedule for a bond measure. The terms of the bond measure are really dictated. So for Prop 39 lowered the passage rate to 55%. It really dictated a lot of the terms that are in a bond measure. So that when you did bond in 2024, it was dictated. There's oversight committee. There's a lot of rules involved in it. With parcel taxes, it's really up to the board to make the decisions on a lot of the things. There's no set rules like there are for Prop 39. So the biggest difference is a flat rate versus a square footage. Most districts choose a flat rate where each parcel is charged the exact same amount. And what we've looked at in this, since you're such a small district, there's only 4,725 parcels in the district. So to do a flat rate parcel tax, you'd have to charge such a large amount to probably get what you would need. Most parcel taxes are under $100, so even at $100, with roughly 5,000 parcels, you're only going to be able to raise about maybe $500,000, and that would be in the best case without exemptions. So that's where we've been looking into the square footage model, but we still have some research to do on that. The tax amount is generated by the board, so the board just sets the parameters for the parcel tax. So you decide if it's flat rate or if it's square footage. The things that has to be decided is how much you're going to charge taxpayers, how much would be generated from the parcel tax. Unlike a bond, there are exemptions from parcel taxes. So exemptions are offered to senior citizens. So if any senior citizen 65 or over that owns and resides in their own home could apply for an exemption from the parcel tax.
Would that apply to business owners that was mentioned here?
It does not apply to business owners. So it's only seniors and then disabled. So people are on SSI or SSIT. So those are the exemptions. And that's again up to the board to decide. Most districts do provide exemptions. There's also annual audits involved with it. So and the parcel taxes have annual audits connected with them. So you're reporting back to the board. It's not required to have oversight committees. If you wanted to have an oversight committee, you can request an oversight committee, but it's not as it's required with the bond, and it's not required for a parcel tax. And then the dates. So the dates, I would recommend sticking with the normal schedule of elections, which is the primary election in June of next year or the general election in November. The district does have, with parcel taxes, you can also choose an established election date or special elections. So there's different dates in May and April. I don't recommend those dates, but legally those are available to you. They're just very expensive way to go about it. And I think you've got enough election days already there, but it's legally.
For special election things?
Yeah.
Special elections have cost us in the past, when we used to have our board elections off pattern, about $85,000. It's not trivial. So it should be along with the general election.
Yeah, I agree.
As you're saying.
It's just that the bonds structured, the bonds, you have to be in those regular elections. Parts of Texas, you have the option. I'm just letting them know that the option's there. I don't think it's a good option to take advantage of, but it's legally available to you.
Well, do you know if the state legislature said it makes sense? Is it also roughly that kind of expense on this, not the normal special election, but this parcel tax? method? Is the process the same kind of expense, do you think?
Yeah, for the election itself, for calling the election, yeah,
Okay,
yes.
okay, makes sense.
So, yeah, it's the primary election's a little bit more expensive than the general election. Always, because there's more ballot types in.
Not cheaper. For this item, okay,
For every item, yeah.
okay.
So for the primary, in general, primary elections cost more because there's more ballot types than the general election, where it's a little bit more consolidated. So now the difference, though, between if you were to choose next year, June versus November, is when the parcel tax would be implemented. So in June, you could have it implemented on July 1st for the next fiscal year. If you wait till November, you're waiting till July of 2027 to be able to.
So you can add a year of taking the tax.
Correct. So it depends on when you have the election and when it actually starts. So, if that makes sense. I think that's all the. I'm doing some research on getting this square footage, so we don't have an actual number on that. We've been just playing with general numbers. You know, most parcel taxes are at $100 or less for the districts in the county, so assuming, a square footage parcel tax, if you did 5 cents per square foot on a 2,000 square foot home, that would be $100. So that kind of gives you some sense of what that is. Where we have to fill in is how many square feet are we talking about? And that's where we're working on getting that number.
And how many residences there are and how many businesses there are.
Yeah, we have those
4,000 or
numbers
something.
from the bond, so there, there's 4,725 parcels. Non-residential, there's 1,293, and residential, there's 3,338. So it's really finding out the square footage of those. Renee did some work on some of the residential, and so we've been looking at those, and that looks at the apartments and things like that. So the square footage is a little fair, the flat rate is, everybody starts saying whether it's an apartment building or a single family house.
Right.
The square footage is certainly probably for you a better thing to look at, right? But we need to look at, to see how that would impact, especially within non-resident. And see if there's, feedback. As far as timing goes, the last day to file is March for June would be March 6th. So that's the drop dead date. So the board would have to take action prior to that. So assuming you've got meetings in January, February, you want to look at probably the February meeting. Do that.
What are the time limits usually on parcel taxes that have passed? The things that I've looked at are like 10 or 12 years.
That's another option of the board, so it's at the discretion of the board. I would think most of them are running, I would say, anywhere from 8 to 12 years.
Yeah, okay, so I saw what's real, okay.
Yeah, I think 4 years is a little short, and if you start getting out much longer without a cost of living increase and things like that, the value of them starts to go down. So I think it's good.
Normally, school district have this, let's say 8 years, they set this 8 years. After 8 years, they do another one because of the inflation.
Yeah, well, or I just worked with Sunnyvale. I worked a lot with Sunnyvale and Fremont High School District. And they just renewed their parcel taxes. So Sunnyvale they have a $59 parcel tax in 2024, they just renewed it. So they did not try to increase it.
Okay.
And it got 82% in the renewal, so maybe they could increase a little bit, but once it's established, they've been happy with the amount, they want to push it. Fremont years ago tried to increase their parcel tax and add a cost of living to it, and it failed miserably. And also we had I had some experience in Cupertino where they tried to bump it up and didn't work out well. So it's really kind of establishing how much it brings in and kind of budgeting a little bit. Sometimes what districts do, if they had an 8-year parcel tax, they may spend on the first or second year, one-time money on a specific program. And then the rest of the years, they're not doing that program. So it kind of stretches it out that way.
So why don't you just do 20 years instead of 8 years?
It's usually voters support, it's just not, it's, and what, at that point, you could also do, I mean, you could do a permanent, parcel tax. But that's where you draw opposition. And so people have not been, the newspaper hasn't been encouraging to that. So it's just raises your risk factor.
Okay,
And your risk factor is high enough with the 2/3
well,
requirement to pass in the first place. So any kind of risk that you're taking after that, whether it's the amount is so high or the length is so long, that it doesn't meet what the voters want to.
so normally 8 years is the.
I would say
number.
8 years has been about what people said. People started, when it first started, people were doing 4 years, and that seemed to be too short, and then they're gone out, because they all get to go through these elections, and then you don't want to be doing the election.
Every time, yes.
It's good for me, but not good for you.
I'll do that,
I
yeah.
have so the 2/3 is of the voters, so depending on how many people vote, 2/3 of the people that vote, it's not 2/3 of the registered vote.
Right, correct. 2/3 of who turns out to vote on the measure. Now, because people might turn out for, in a presidential race, people don't always vote for everything on the ballot. So it's just you vote on your measure.
Okay.
There could be, 5% more people vote on the presidential and they skip over everything else. That doesn't work against you. It's just the straight yes, no vote on your measure that requires you 2/3.
So can you? In Santa Clara County, most districts are flat parcel.
Yes.
Can you share experience that you've heard of other districts maybe not in Santa Clara County, but that have done the square footage parcel tax and the benefit that it had to them?
I didn't work with them. I know Berkeley has them. There's a couple in Alameda County that have them. Alameda Unified has one, and I think that's what scared a lot of people off in Alameda. They ended up in, they put a contingent on it, so they had the differentiated tax rate. And that ended up in litigation, and so I think that ended up scaring people away from it. You wouldn't be looking at limiting any of that, so. But it really, a lot of people have not tried to sort of put its model. I think it's a little bit more difficult to explain. People have a hard time doing the math even, and so it's just, there's not been a model that shows.
I think for a district like us, because we do have so much industrial and commercial mixed in with our residential, that while the number is higher, the square footage is a lot bigger on those commercial places, like Super Microsystem next door. They own a ton of space in this area where we'd be able to tap into the resource of their square footage versus everybody paying the same amount.
Yeah, if you can make them understand, it's another version of tax the rich, not gonna come out of your pocket. It's that big company up there, yeah. But making them understand that.
Yeah, and you do have to explain it. There's still residential, it's still gonna have an impact on residential, but it doesn't have to have as big an impact if it's shared across like that. And I think more districts are gonna be moving towards the square footage model. I just think that it's with the 2/3 requirement, I mean, it's scary enough with 2/3, and not that many districts try parcel tax. It's really a Northern California phenomenon. Most districts in Southern California don't have parcel tax. Most districts in this county do have them, but it's not normal to have them statewide. And if you go
This
east,
area has
yeah,
close to
if you go
27,
east,
28,
you know,
that's great.
they just don't have them at all. They never consider it, so. That's kind of a treat to be able to consider. And I'd like to also wish you a happy birthday.
Wow.
107 years old, that's.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that, I love the history of this. So I'd like to be around for the bicentennial, but.
Me too.
Not sure I'll be in front of the microphone.
Well, forgetting how it used to be.
So what is, do we have to have, tell voters what kind the project we will be working on, use those money for?
Yes,
Do we have to say?
But it's not just project based, because we can use it for programs as well, correct?
Right,
Like
yeah,
a
so-
bond, we can't use it for any type of programming. It has to be facility.
Salaries.
For-
The bonds are really restrictive, using it for facilities. With parcel taxes, it's really going to programs, but end up, it's really salary. So it's really, it's going towards paying salaries for whatever that program may be, or if it's. I don't want to speculate what you want to use the funds for. I don't want to use it, buying new library books or like that.
So program is basically we are telling voters the same, we will be using this money to support more programs. In the
Right.
school, right?
Dictate.
Reading,
program.
writing,
Whatever.
whatever the
Rappa.
board decides you want to.
The arts, the music.
Or whether it's arts, music, all
So-
those things could be examples of where you lower class sizes or like that.
So we.
That gets a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a good example, really.
So